A top 10 list to start 2025 off? Oh yeah, you could only get that at the Wrestling Order. Give me a second and I'll talk to you about it.
Order in the court.
Alright, welcome back to the King's Court Wrestling Order. I am King Leo Picasso, and we are about to give you the 2025 top 10 male wrestlers. Alright, so what I'm going to do is give you my top 10 on who I think will be dominating this year. These are my projections for the year. Now, this isn't company specific. I'm not going to stick to just the big two, so you may hear some names that you may have never heard of. So don't be surprised if some of you haven't heard of some of these names. Some of you that do watch wrestling outside of the bubble, you can go back over to episode 2 and get that from when breaking out of the bubble, but that's a whole nother story. Right now, I'm going to give you the names who I think are going to be, big names in this coming year. Some of them have already had big matches to start the year off. So coming in at number 10 already, he's already had one of the top matches of the year this year. So I expect even greater things even after having one of the top matches of the year. That's Hechicero from CMLL. I became aware of Hechicero doing watch-alongs with WrestleTati last year, and she was telling me how good of a wrestler he was. Now, I seen him over in AEW. That was my first time seeing him, as I don't watch CMLL regularly, but Hechicero was a beast. So I was able to see him wrestle then. And so after watching Hechicero, I was like, wow, this guy is amazing. And I was wondering where he was. So he has one of the top matches I've seen this year already to start it off. And we're only in January so far. He had a match at Battle in the Valley with New Japan up in San Jose against Zack Sabre Jr. That match was an absolute monster. Listen, they probably got about 8 of Tanahashi's tiers. Y'all know that's my rating, is the Tanahashi tier rating. And that match absolutely cooked. They stole the show. They pretty much took the life out of the room. I'm sorry, the main event was still pretty good, but Hechicero and Zack Sabre Jr. tore the house down. And if anybody's not aware of Hechicero is, definitely look up his matches. Definitely go look at anything he's done in, around the world. Definitely in CMLL, over to AEW. I don't know if when his contract is up where he's gonna land at. I hope he does end up in New Japan doing some stuff, because New Japan definitely can have a reinvigorated roster. But wherever Hechicero goes, definitely this guy is amazing. He put that work in on Zack Sabre Jr. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. Like, he took Zack Sabre Jr. to the limit, and I was like, wow, I kind of was pulling for Hechicero to win that match. Now the ending to the match was kind of like, like what just happened? You know what I'm saying? How did the match end? I didn't like it, but that's a whole nother story. We're talking about the wrestling that took place in the ring. And if you're looking for anybody that should be on a list for this year, definitely check out Hechicero. He comes in at number 10 for me. All right, now, and coming in at number 9, we've got none other than Bron Breakker over in WWE. Bron is the Intercontinental Champion right now. I can only see greater heights for him this year, as the hype leading last year, him losing the Intercontinental Champion and winning it back. Last year he held the NXT title as well. Listen, the sky's been the limit. We know what kind of family he comes from. He is a Steiner. His uncle Scott Steiner, his father Rick Steiner, the Steiner brothers are absolute legends. We know that he comes from great stock, and I only can think that he's only going to get bigger and bigger. We know how fast he moves around that ring. He's given us moment after moment after moment since hitting the main roster. He did lose to Jey Uso, but then he won the title back from Jey Uso. And if you've seen him this past week, he looks hungry for his next opponent, which looks like it's about to be Sheamus again. Bron has great series matches with different people. His matches against Ludwig Kaiser, definitely, like I say, Bron Breakker only has upsides to him. We don't know what's going to happen at WrestleMania this year. Leading into WrestleMania, is he going to hold the title until then? Will he hold it past it? He won the title at WrestleMania last year, so there's only going to be a lot of upside to Bron Breakker. Will he even fight Gunther for the championship? Who knows? We may get a champion versus champion match, winner takes all again, which I wouldn't be against. So definitely Bron Breakker is absolutely one to watch for, as he should be doing greater things whenever he does hit the screen. You know, people are excited to see what he's going to do next, and you know, give him more opponents. I don't want to say feed him more opponents, but give him more opponents. Let's see how much he can do. We know what he's able to do. Unfortunately, Eagle Dragunov would have been a good competitor for him, because they could have brung that beef up to the main roster, which I thought they were going to do, but unfortunately Ela has been injured. So definitely Bron Breakker is on the list of the top 10, and he comes in at number 9 again. All right, coming in at number 8, I've got Hangman Adam Page. Now listen, Hangman has had a very good year last year from his beef with Swerve. They tore their house down from the promos at the beginning of the year all the way through the end each time they fought. It seems like Hangman is only getting better. Right now he's in a feud with Christopher Daniels, out of all people, and it's interesting. Like, Hangman's work is I thought he would have been champion by now, honestly. Definitely to carry the company again. He's been champion before in AEW, but Hangman has gained this real angry aggression that I like about him when it comes to his wrestling style right now. Now, he has lost a lot of matches recently, but I can see him starting to win a lot of these newer matches that are going to come forth for him. It seems like it's that time for him. It's that time for him to hold the gold again. It's that time for him to move up on the roster. Hangman Adam Page can carry AEW if they're looking for somebody that is young, that's been there from the beginning. Hangman has always had it in him to be a champion. Right now, I think he's found that thing that he was looking for. Definitely, you know, it can always be more changes made to his character to make it even better, but I really like this aggressive Hangman Adam Page, so he is definitely somebody to watch for in 2025 to do some really big things. So again, coming in at number 8 for AEW, Hangman Adam Page. All right, coming in at number 7, we've got the hater himself, you know what I mean, Buck Nasty, Drew McIntyre, the biggest hater in WWE. Listen, Drew has been cooking ever since CM Punk came back and Drew claymored him and hurt CM Punk, and then they started their program, and it even went from even CM Punk being hurt the whole time, and they were cutting promos on each other, and it just got better and better every week. Right now, Drew is still cooking. He's bringing in 2025 hot, like, with everything that he's doing. I thought that maybe it would have dropped off a little bit, but it's only gotten better, and I am enjoying everything I'm seeing. I'm pretty sure everybody else is. We didn't expect Drew McIntyre to be this good later, but that balance between social media and him, you know, you can go to his socials right now. He's gonna have you laughing. His in-ring work has been supreme as well. He hasn't dropped off in the ring at all. Like, he's just been getting better and better over time, and it seems like he's found that thing in between whatever's working for him as a heel in this bad guy role. I love it. You know what I mean? Him being pissed off all of the time, and then he snaps into that character. Like, yo, he's cool one minute, and then he snaps right into his character. And wherever they're going with his storyline right now between him, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins, I'm liking it. Even if they become a trio, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what they're going to do, but listen, Buck Nasty has been doing his stuff since last year. I have enjoyed it. Even if you missed a clip of him saying hate, he knows that he is the biggest hater in WWE, and he's gonna hate any chance he gets, and I like it. Even hating on Sami Zayn recently, talking about he's fighting in a crowd. Listen, go visit his socials, man. It leans so much into his character when he comes out to the ring on Raw, and I absolutely enjoy it. So at number 7, we got Drew McIntyre. He's definitely due for a big push this year, hopefully, and I think that we will see something special out of Drew before the year's up. Now on my list of up-and-comers, we got Carmelo Hayes. Now, last year was a little shaky with Carmelo hitting the main roster a little bit. I know a lot of people were disappointed in some of the things that he was doing, and it seems like he was trying to find his footing. He came out, he's had great matches against a lot of good people. Like, we can't hate on that. Like, this dude has already fought LA Knight. He's already fought Cody Rhodes. He is fighting everybody on the list. Now, listen, we know Carmelo, what he could do and what he was able to do in NXT. He's been North American champion. He's been the NXT champion. Now it's time for Carmelo Hayes to do his thing. It seems like he's very comfortable on the main roster now. A 7-match feud with Andrade, which I think they still need to have one more, just because the triple threat match with LA Knight kind of was in the way of it. Like, you know, not to say I didn't like the program with LA Knight and them having a triple threat match, but Carmelo still needs to have that tiebreaker with Andrade. I know people want to see it move on, but they're still 3-3. Getting back to it, Carmelo Hayes' future looks bright, and it looks like it's going to go places is coming up this year. Right now, it looks like he's headed into a new feud, man, with Jimmy right now. He's already fought Jimmy. It looks like he's getting into it with the bloodline a little bit. We'll see where that goes. I think that him versus Jimmy was actually a pretty good match this week, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. The match didn't end this week the way that it should have. We know that there wasn't a decisive victor, but Carmelo has it in him. He has the charisma and what it takes on the roster. A few good feuds definitely will push Carmelo Hayes in the right way, and I can actually see him winning maybe the US title or something like that this year. Some gold, maybe even King of the Ring, who knows, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens this year, but definitely coming in at number 6 for me, it is Carmelo Hayes. All right, so we're at number 5 right now, and he's already had one of the matches of the year again. We got Kenny Omega. Now, the reason he landed at number 5 is because I don't know what they're going to do with him in AEW. We don't know what kind of storyline they're going to run. We know that before he left, there was an issue with the Elite. So I'm hoping that, I don't know if they're going to wrap that story up, or if they just forgot it, or if they're just going to reboot from zero with Kenny Omega. But I expect Kenny Omega to do some great things. I don't know about him holding the championship, but he could hold the championship again. But we know that we're going to get great wrestling out of Kenny because he started the year off hot with him and Gabe Kidd over in Wrestle Dynasty at New Japan. Again, another match in New Japan that took the air out of the room. This is what gave me the whole Tanahashi tear rating. Tanahashi was at ringside crying after this match, and it was just due. Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd gave it their all, and it's going to be hard to top that match this year. I gotta say, like, we saw Kenny Omega do some stuff that was a lot different. Some people were complaining that he looked a little bit slower, but yo, slow down some of that stuff you're doing and it looks absolutely great. You get to enjoy it. They told a great story in that ring from the minute that they started getting into it to where Kenny Omega is now. He's still recovering from diverticulitis, but if you're able to give us that, and right after the stomach surgery and everything that you went through from the healing, and this is your first match back and you burned it down like that, and you were able to give us a 10-tier Tanahashi match, yo, absolutely fire. So again, coming in number 5, Kenny Omega. I definitely expect to see some more great things. All right, now coming in at number 4, none other than the ruler himself, Obafemi. Coming in at number 4, we got Obafemi. Listen, Obafemi just became the new NXT champion, and I expect so many great things out of Obafemi this year. I expect him probably to be the next longest reigning NXT champion there is, unless they get him called up to the roster a lot faster. You never know what can happen. Anything can happen in the WWE. Obafemi is a class act. He's definitely one of the top new performers that we're getting over there. I expect to see nothing but breakthroughs for this dude all year. He is the triple threat king. That's what I call him. Every one of his triple threats that I saw last year were absolutely fantastic. I didn't even think this thing with Eddie Thorpe was going to be that good right now, and I'm interested to see where that goes. So Obafemi, we know, is going to rule over the NXT kingdom, as he says. I like the fact that he told when he walked into Ava's office and said, yo, she said, I don't believe nothing that Eddie said, and he said, nah, that was me. I beat him down. He don't deserve to be in this match. Oba has so much upside to him that he has no choice but to break through. We've seen what he did last year with the North American Championship. 4 matches in, he's North American champion. Now he's the longest reigning North American champion. I can't see him doing anything else, and by the time he hits the main roster, everybody is going to be cheering for Obafemi. Keep your eyes out for Obafemi over on NXT on the CW. Definitely coming in number 4 representing NXT, Obafemi. Coming in at number 3, the man himself that already have one of the top matches of the year again. We got Zack Sabre Jr. at number 3. I'm really still getting acclimated. I've heard of Zack Sabre Jr. over the years. I've seen matches here and there. I can't be happier to say that every time I watch Zack Sabre Jr., he gives a classic match. Now, coming off of Wrestle Dynasty 2 Battle in the Valley, this was a way better match. Matter of fact, it was at Wrestle Kingdom 19 for that match, and it was a long night of matches. Then he had the next night, he fought at Wrestle Dynasty, and he was the main event, and the air kind of got sucked out of the room from Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd, and he had to follow that up. Now, him having this match with Hechicero at Battle in the Valley, it just seems like him, Gabe Kidd, and Kenny Omega and Hechicero are all fighting for that top spot of the year. We'll see what happens, but both of those two matches are the two top matches that I've seen this year so far. I'm not saying that there won't be any better matches this year, but we haven't gotten anywhere. Those are the first two pay-per-views of the year. New Japan has just been cooking that fast, where they've having all of these events back to back to back to back. So it's only right that they have the two top matches of the year. But Zack Sabre Jr. is world renowned. He has had great matches. I only expect him to have better matches. He had great matches last year. Even a match against Danielson. Like, listen, Zack Sabre Jr. has been cooking for quite some time. And if you're not familiar, go and check out Zack Sabre Jr.'s matches. Definitely go watch his Battle of the Valley match with him and Hechicero, and then you'll understand what I mean by him bringing in the year like this. You only can get better. So again, at number 3, I got Zack Sabre Jr. All right, so we down to the final two, and number 2, I got none other than my boy Bolo. You know what I'm saying? He remind me of Bolo Young. Y'all already know who I'm talking about if you're familiar with the channel and you all the ways over here. Number 2, we got Konosuke Takeshita representing AEW, representing New Japan with that brand new contract. And I forget exactly where else the third contract is that he has, but you know what I mean? He is booked and busy for the year, as Tati would say. Definitely. Listen, Takeshita has been on the top of my list of wrestlers for quite a while, ever since I seen him debut in AEW. Once he became the international champion, that's when things really started to pick up from Takeshita. We wanted him to win a title. I thought he should have had a title way sooner than that. Listen, he is so young as a wrestler. He has the height, the look. Definitely he has everything that you would want packaged inside of a wrestler. His finisher, of course, he does a Blue Thunder Bomb, but that Blue Thunder Bomb coming from Takeshita is absolutely amazing. He's had some great matches this year. He's definitely had a great match starting over in New Japan. I think he's had 3 matches so far. He had the 2 matches back to back right after he won the international championship last year in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. So Takeshita is cooking right now. Now, I don't want them to be overusing him so that way he won't get hurt. I don't want to see anything happen to Takeshita this year, because this is going to be a great year for him and for international crowds. It's going to be a great look for the American audience outside of just the AEW bubble to get to know who Takeshita is, so that way people can anticipate seeing him. And this is one of the reasons why I was telling people, listen, get out of the bubble so that way you can understand what's going on in these different companies. Takeshita's probably on the top list for people that want to recruit him in any company. That goes for every one of them. That's why New Japan went ahead and put that contract on him one time. That's why AEW got him locked down. DDT, which is the 3rd contract that he does have. So he is going to be one of the hot prospects. If his contract comes up and all 3 of those contracts expire and he wants to go elsewhere to any other one of these companies, whether that's TNA, any company you can use him and build their company up. And even WWE, which I know people will be like, don't say that, but listen, everybody's going to be scouting Takeshita. He's that much of a great superstar that he can build on anybody's roster and be that guy over there, and he can cause a lot of chaos on anybody's roster. So Takeshita definitely is coming in at number 2 on the list. So y'all make sure y'all be on the lookout for him this year, and let's see what he does. All right, so we've made it to number 1, and I gotta be honest, this has been one of the most spectacular dudes that I've seen rise in wrestling, that I relate to. Definitely someone that has been giving it his all. This is why he's at the number 1 spot for me, and I only see upsides for him, and that is no other than Reverend Jacob Fatu. Listen, ever since Jacob came and he has been standing behind Solo Sikoa in the new bloodline, the WWE fan base has been waiting for Jacob to say something, and when he finally did, and he only cut maybe 2 to 3 promos so far, if you can call them that, or just said anything. Now that Solo has lost to Ulafala, we don't know what's going to happen next, but I did see Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu come out by themselves, and it doesn't take much for Jacob's presence to be felt on any part of the roster. Right now, how I see it, Jacob has nothing but upside strides going for him. If you've watched Jacob anywhere else in all of the indies, he's been everywhere. He's been to TNA, he's been to ROW, he's been over in MLW. Jacob's been around, and now that Jacob's been around, he has made it to the stage of WWE. It's only one place you can go. It's only a matter of time before Jacob causes extra chaos. We've seen this man wrestle in a boot after he done messed up his ankle and had that problem. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember on the channel, if you mainstays on the channel, y'all know we said Jacob Fatu was boot strong. You know what I'm saying? After, of course, after the Roderick Strong, neck strong thing, that's where we get it from. But we said that Jacob Fatu was boot strong. You know what I mean? Listen, Jacob Fatu, like he tells everybody else, he will dog walk their ass. We already know what it is. Jacob Fatu speaks to the culture. Him just coming to the arena with the Pooh Shiesty on. Yo, Jacob is crazy. We love him. Him just saying, I love you, Solo, waking up in the morning. If you check his socials and you see him saying, I love you, Solo, every morning, he loved his tribal chief. Listen, all of the moves that he was capable of doing, Jacob be so amped up when he does his moves. He has so much energy. This is why I have him at number 1. He has so much upside to his character that a lot of people haven't even been able to see because they don't watch outside of the Big 2 bubble. So this is one of the reasons you watch outside of the Big 2 bubble, so you can know who's on the way up. Even from the indies, from the small to from the very smalls to the big. I don't care what you're watching now. If you go to Rev Pro, you can watch anything. But you would have missed a lot of Jacob Fatu stuff. I hope you haven't only seen his stuff inside of WWE, and you go back and watch his stuff in MLW. Go watch it in ROW. Go watch it anywhere. Just pull up a clip. Type in Jacob Fatu on YouTube in anything, and you'll see him. Just him cutting his promos. You haven't even heard Jacob cut a real promo yet. All of the promos that you heard from Jacob Fatu, they've been very short and sweet. When Jacob starts to talking, it's going to be a lot of people that are in trouble when they start talking trash to Jacob Fatu. He's giving you the facial expressions, he's giving you the moves, he's giving you the athleticism of what he can do. Wait till you see this man actually be able to speak and cut a promo, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Jacob Fatu is it. He has that it factor. This is why he is at the top of my list for this year over everyone else, because I'm expecting great things for Jacob Fatu. He definitely deserves it. Not to say that nobody else on this list deserves it. Coming in at number 1 is Jacob Fatu for WWE. Now, I know that that list might seem a little crazy for some people. There's people that aren't on the list. There's a whole bunch of people I left off of the list that will be having people like, what are you talking about? But listen, I can't put everybody in. Now, this isn't a WWE specific list. You know, this list would look different. If it was an AEW specific list, it probably would look different. Hell, if it was an NXT specific list, it would look different. If it was a New Japan Pro Wrestling list, it would look different. We're just doing a projection list for this year. These are the top guys that I see being as top players for this year. Going into it, some of them have already started off great. I think that some of them will move around as far as the numbers and the way that they got them listed. But hey, this is my list. This is what I'm doing. These are the wrestlers who I think are going to make a big splash this year. We'll see how that shakes up towards the end of the year, barring any injuries, God forbid. And listen, if you feel that the numbers should be different and you feel that it should, maybe some wrestlers should be added, leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Definitely, if this is your first time here, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Definitely go over to the website. You can check out some great articles from myself, Nick Waytoish, Tatiana Lanista. You can definitely check out some great articles that are over there already, and hopefully you do enjoy that, and you should see some new content coming up. Definitely these lists that I'm doing will be up there. There are more top 10 lists coming. Keep it locked. I will be doing my top 10 projection of women wrestlers for 2025, which is the next episode of King's Court Wrestling Order. And thank you for coming to watch this video, and I will see you all soon. Peace.